In a world of billions, a few people are born with conditions so rare and unbelievable that even doctors struggle to explain them. Their bodies defy science, their appearances shock the world, and their stories remind us how unpredictable the human body can be. From massive facial tumors to unique disorders seen in only one person on Earth, these real stories are powerful and unforgettable. Today we reveal 10 people with rare and unbelievable diseases you've never seen before. Prepare to be amazed. Are you new in this video? Click subscribe and hit notification bell. So let's get started. This is the heartbreaking story of Emmanuel, a young boy also known as Hassan, and his mother Donata. Emmanuel was born with a severe, rare condition causing his eyes to unnaturally protrude, a daily reality that has shaped his entire life. Donata's struggle began the moment she needed help the most. Emmanuel's father abandoned them, cruelly calling his own son a creature. Heartbreakingly, even their own family and friends urged Donata to give the boy up. Now 12 years old, Emmanuel faces relentless bullying. His peers call him a frog and a beast, forcing him into isolation. He cannot attend a regular school because the other children are terrified of him. His physical pain is constant. He suffers from hearing loss, and his eyes hurt constantly, especially in the sun. Due to the missing muscles that should hold them in place, his eyes sometimes slip out, and his devoted mother, Donata, is forced to gently push them back in. They live in devastating poverty, barely able to secure food or a roof over their heads, making proper medical care an impossible dream. Doctors have confirmed that surgery could be life-changing, a procedure that could fully correct his condition and give him a normal future. But the cost is immense. Donata's only hope is to reach out, begging for the kindness needed to save her son and finally give him the chance he deserves. Alex Lewis was once an ordinary dad and pub owner living in rural Hampshire, England, until November 2013, when what seemed like a simple flu suddenly turned into a life-threatening medical emergency. After about 10 days of worsening symptoms, Alex woke in severe pain and with his skin turning purple. Doctors soon diagnosed him with a rare and severe reaction to strep A infection that progressed into toxic shock syndrome and septicemia, a condition so aggressive it began destroying his organs and tissues. Despite the best efforts of the medical team, Alex's body could not be saved without drastic intervention. Over the following months of treatment, he underwent multiple life-saving surgeries. As a result, he lost both legs above the knee and his left arm above the elbow, and 6 months later, his right arm below the elbow also had to be amputated. The infection also affected his face and mouth, requiring reconstructive procedures. Doctors initially gave Alex only about a 1% chance of survival in the first few critical days, but he beat those odds. What makes his story remarkable is not just surviving such a rare and devastating illness, but how he chose to rebuild his life afterward. Rather than retreat from his new reality, Alex committed himself to rehabilitation, using assistive technology and prosthetics to live as independently as possible. He became a symbol of resilience, inspiring others facing similar challenges and advocating for better awareness of disability and supportive technology. Today, Alex Lewis continues to adapt, pursue new goals, and show that even the most unimaginable medical crises can be met with courage and strength. Stephen Hawking is known worldwide as one of the greatest scientific minds in history. But what makes his story extraordinary is how he achieved all of this while battling one of the rarest and most devastating diseases known to medicine. At just 21 years old, Hawking was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, a progressive neurodegenerative condition that slowly destroys nerve cells responsible for movement. Doctors told him he had only 2 to 3 years to live. ALS gradually took away his ability to walk, control his muscles, and eventually even speak. Over time, he became almost completely paralyzed, relying on a wheelchair and later communicating through a computerized voice system operated by a single cheek muscle. Despite these limitations, Hawking continued his groundbreaking work in theoretical physics, contributing ideas that changed how we understand the universe, including black holes, cosmology, and the origin of space and time. For more than 5 decades, Hawking lived with a disease that usually progresses rapidly and is often fatal within a few years. His survival alone is considered medically astonishing, making him one of the longest-living ALS patients ever recorded. But beyond survival, his relentless dedication to science and his refusal to be defined by his condition turned him into a global symbol of human resilience. Stephen Hawking's life proves that even the rarest and harshest illnesses cannot limit the power of the human mind, determination, and curiosity. José Mestre, a man from Lisbon, Portugal, became known worldwide for having one of the largest and most extreme facial tumors ever recorded. For more than 40 years, José lived with a massive growth caused by a rare condition called vascular malformation, specifically a type of venous malformation. This disorder occurs when veins in the face develop abnormally, creating soft tissue tumors that can grow slowly but relentlessly over time. José's tumor began forming when he was just a teenager. With limited access to specialized medical care and personal beliefs that discouraged surgery at the time, the tumor was left untreated, and it grew continuously for decades. Eventually, it reached an enormous size, weighing more than 12 pounds, around 5 to 6 kg, and covering much of his face, including his mouth and one eye. The growth made it difficult for him to speak, eat, and breathe normally. Despite the challenges, José lived a peaceful and private life, supported by family and friends. His condition drew international medical attention, and he was later offered advanced treatment abroad. Surgeons performed multiple complex operations to remove the massive tumor and reconstruct his facial structures, procedures that carried major risks due to heavy bleeding associated with vascular malformations. José's story is remembered not only for the extreme nature of his condition, but also for the incredible strength he showed throughout his life. His case helped raise global awareness about rare vascular disorders and the importance of early medical intervention. Petero Byakatonda is a young boy from Uganda whose face became dramatically distorted due to a severe congenital facial tumor, believed to be linked to a lymphatic or vascular malformation, conditions where fluid-filled or blood vessel-related growths expand uncontrollably in the soft tissues of the face. These types of malformations are extremely rare in children, and when left untreated, the growth can rapidly increase in size, causing major functional and emotional challenges. Petero's condition began developing when he was very young. As the tumor expanded, it caused large swelling around his cheek and jaw, making it difficult for him to chew, speak, and even close his mouth properly. The size and weight of the mass also affected his breathing and facial symmetry, drawing unwanted attention wherever he went. Despite the discomfort and social stigma, Petero remained strong and continued attending school, supported by his family who desperately searched for medical help. Because advanced surgical care is limited in many rural parts of Uganda, Petero's tumor continued to grow until his case drew international awareness. Medical professionals recognized that his condition required specialized surgical intervention, including the removal of the mass and reconstruction of facial structures. Such surgeries are highly complex due to the risk of bleeding and nerve damage commonly associated with lymphatic and vascular malformations. Petero's story is more than a medical case. It is a reminder of how geography and access to healthcare can profoundly shape a child's life. His bravery and his family's determination to find treatment inspired many organizations and doctors to step forward and provide the care he urgently needed. Dylan Lombard is a young boy from Scotland who became known worldwide because of his incredibly rare genetic condition called mandibular hypoplasia, deafness, and progeroid features syndrome, MDP syndrome. This disorder is so uncommon that only around 13 people in the entire world are known to have it. MDP affects fat distribution, bone development, and aging features, making the body appear unusually thin with distinctive facial characteristics. Dylan was diagnosed after doctors noticed that he wasn't gaining body fat and had physical features that didn't match typical growth patterns. People with MDP cannot store fat properly, causing their limbs to appear extremely slim, almost as if they are aging faster than normal. The condition also affects hearing, facial development, and hormonal functions. Despite these challenges, Dylan has remained an active, outgoing, and confident young man. Although strangers sometimes stare or misunderstand his appearance, Dylan continues to share his story to spread awareness and kindness. He enjoys photography, music, and connecting with others, proving that a rare condition does not define a person's potential. His positive attitude has made him an inspiration to thousands around the world, especially those dealing with unusual medical challenges. Because MDP syndrome has no cure and is still not fully understood, Dylan works closely with specialists to manage symptoms and stay healthy. His story highlights the importance of compassion, awareness, and support for people with extremely rare conditions, reminding the world that uniqueness can be a source of strength, not shame. Verdant Joshi is a young boy from Gujarat, India, who gained international attention after being born with an extraordinarily large right foot. His foot measures about 11 inches, 28 centimeters in length, and is reported to weigh around 12 pounds, 5.4 kilograms, comparable to a bowling ball. What makes Verdant's case even more astonishing is that, despite the size and weight of his foot, he is able to walk and run with relatively normal mobility. Over the years, hundreds of doctors have examined him and speculated on what might be causing this extreme overgrowth, yet no definitive medical diagnosis has been confirmed in credible sources. Because the condition is so rare and puzzling, medical professionals have proposed various possibilities, from overgrowth disorders to issues with tissue development, but none have been formally established. His family has also faced emotional challenges. Verdant has reportedly endured bullying, and finding shoes or clothing to fit his limb is extremely difficult. Some doctors have even suggested amputation as a treatment, though this remains a controversial and drastic option. Verdant's story has been covered in media and online articles, including Black Sports Online, which published images and details of his condition in 2015 under the headline, "Docs Can't Figure Out What's Going On with This Kid's Foot." The article emphasized the medical mystery surrounding his case and the challenges his family faces. Verdant Joshi's condition remains unsolved, making him one of the most extraordinary and mysterious medical cases in recent years. Tom Tennant was born in 1993 in Southeast Australia, with an extraordinarily large amount of extra skin covering his body. So much so that at birth, he appeared to have enough skin to cover a 5-year-old child. From the moment he was born, doctors were baffled. His parents, Jeff and Debbie Tennant, were shocked when they first saw him. They had ultrasounds during pregnancy that hinted something was not quite right, but nothing prepared them for the severity of the condition. Medical experts observed his skin was extremely wrinkled and noticed his body had elevated levels of hyaluronic acid, about 100 times higher than normal. This is similar to Shar-Pei puppies, a dog breed known for its wrinkled appearance. There was no known medical diagnosis at first. The hope was that as Tom grew, he might grow into his skin, and that the extra skin might settle into a more typical appearance. Growing up was not easy. Tom faced teasing at school and social challenges because of how he looked, but he and his family stayed positive. Over time, his skin appearance gradually improved. People reported that though he still looks unique, the excessive wrinkling is much less noticeable now than when he was born. As of recent reports, Tom is married to a woman named Hannah and lives in Frankston, Victoria, Australia. He embraces his uniqueness and shares a message of self-acceptance. Life's simple. You make choices and you don't look back. 9-year-old Rajeshwari lives in a small tribal village in Chhattisgarh, India, where she suffers from a condition so rare it's left doctors puzzled for years. Her body is covered in thick, stone-like blisters that have hardened her skin and made even the simplest movements painful. Walking, sitting, even lying down is a daily challenge. The condition began to show just after birth, and as she grew older, the symptoms only became more severe. Doctors believe Rajeshwari may be suffering from a rare genetic disorder known as epidermolytic ichthyosis, a type of congenital skin disease that causes extreme scaling and blistering. In some areas, her skin resembles cracked rock, drawing painful stares and curiosity from others in her village. The disease not only affects her physically, it also isolates her socially. Many in her area see her condition as a curse, making life even more difficult for her and her family. Rajeshwari requires daily care, from applying special creams to preventing infections and treating wounds. Unfortunately, advanced treatment is not available in her remote village, and her family cannot afford to travel long distances for proper care. Despite the pain and the isolation, Rajeshwari remains resilient. Her story has drawn attention across India and around the world, highlighting the urgent need for awareness and support for children suffering from rare and neglected conditions like hers. Meet Beatriz Pugliese, a 28-year-old from Sao Paulo, Brazil, born with a rare skin condition known as giant congenital melanocytic nevus. Remarkably, over 80% of her body is covered in dark, pigmented birthmarks. From infancy, Beatrice endured more than 30 surgeries, starting at just 6 months old, to remove patches at high risk of sun damage or skin cancer. But as she grew older, the relentless medical procedures and harsh social reactions took a toll. In childhood, kids called her Monkey and Dalmatian, yet through family support and resilience, she eventually made a powerful choice. In 2008, she decided to stop surgeries and fully embrace her skin, refusal to hide any longer. Today, Beatrice proudly wears her birthmarks as symbols of strength, stating, "My birthmarks make it easy to see that skin is just an organ, to protect what really matters." He radiates positivity, encouraging others to accept themselves as they are. She also found love. Spotted during the 2014 World Cup, she met her cook husband, Felipe Korobov, who says he was drawn to her because of her unique skin, not despite it. Their enduring relationship of 9 years shows that true connection transcends appearances. Beatrice aspires to work with primates, creatures that once symbolized mockery, but now represent her passion and acceptance of her skin. She's now an advocate for people with similar conditions, using her voice and social platforms to uplift and empower. Nicky Freeman is a man from Esperance, Western Australia, who, at first glance, appears to be a 10-year-old boy. The reality, however, is astounding. Nicky is in his 40s, yet his body ages at 1/4 the normal pace, making him look like a child well into middle age. Born with hydrocephalus, a condition where excess fluid accumulates in the brain, Nicky's early life was filled with medical hurdles. Doctors feared he wouldn't survive. Even when he did, lifelong effects followed. He is completely blind, his pituitary gland is underactive, and his bone development is extraordinarily delayed. At 16, he still had the skeletal structure of a 4-year-old, and today his bones match those of a 10-year-old. He didn't walk until age 2, and a shunt operation to relieve his brain swelling had disastrous effects, leaving him unable to speak or walk for months. He never regained spoken language, but he communicates powerfully through body language, using gestures to show his feelings and needs. Despite these challenges and doctors saying his life expectancy would be short, Nicky outlived all predictions. At 40, he graduated into size 10 children's clothes and enjoys life in his own way. He loves horse riding, enjoys long car trips, and his mother describes him as a fighter who is meant to be here. Medical experts say his case is extraordinarily rare, something they've never encountered despite years in the field. His story provides a unique insight into biological aging, growth, and resilience. Michael van de Weert from Belgium is only 23 years old, but his body looks decades older. He was born with progeria, a rare genetic disorder that causes the body to age up to 8 times faster than normal. Doctors told his family he likely wouldn't live past the age of 12, but Michael didn't just survive, he thrived. Growing up, Michael was often bullied and called cruel names like alien, but instead of hiding, he chose to live boldly.
He learned to drive, he snowboards, he streams on Twitch, and he even got his favorite anime characters tattooed on his body. He proudly says, "My body is old, but my soul is still young." Mikiel shares his journey to inspire others, showing that no diagnosis can define who you are. Now one of the oldest people living with progeria, Michael continues to defy the odds with passion and positivity. His life is proof that true strength comes not from your age, but how you choose to live every day.
We've just witnessed some of the rarest and most unbelievable medical conditions on Earth. Stories that prove how extraordinary, unpredictable, and resilient the human body can be. Behind every condition is a real person with courage, hope, and a life far deeper than their appearance. If you were amazed by these incredible individuals, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories from around the world. Thank you for watching. And always remember, everyone you meet is fighting a battle you may never see.